Bienvenue, les aventures de Frank et Ben. Sixième série, Frank and Ben go on a picnic with Ruth and Sally. XVIIIème histoire, Frank and Ben go on a picnic with Ruth. We'll go on a picnic, part 18. Up on the hill where the picnic tables are, Ruth and Sally have been passing the time agreeably. The table where they are sitting is situated under a large tree at a spot that offers a view of the surrounding countryside. On the table are the plates, utensils, napkins, containers, and bottles of pop they brought with them. There is also a rattan stick from Ruth's martial arts course. She was planning to practice with it, but so far it has lain idle. Rather, she and her sister have been watching a very young squirrel running up and down a tree. In addition, they've been chatting about many things. Sally has confided to her sister that she doesn't think Ben is the most physically attractive boy she's ever been with. However, she does believe that he's beautiful in another way. What I mean is in a spiritual way, she explains. Oh, it's hard to put into words, but there's this deeply sympathetic side to him. And then there's the mixture of innocence and maturity that really surprises me. For example, when I read his writings, I feel like I'm with a much older person, not someone who is a teenager and often blushes and can't find the right words. How long have you been reading his writings? Ever since he started sending them to me about 3 weeks ago. And have you fallen in love with him for this reason? That's putting it a bit strongly. But if you mean, do his writings affect my feelings about him? Of course. Once again, they watch the little squirrel running up and down the tree. Besides, he's cute, even if he does have a few rolls of fat on his stomach. Speaking of stomachs, mine's starting to grumble. Despite their increasing hunger, the girls continue to talk agreeably and take pleasure in their surroundings. Only after 40 minutes have gone by does Ruth start to show signs of impatience. My God, we were supposed to be having a picnic here. Well, let's be thankful at least for the splendid weather and scenery. Otherwise, waiting for them and the food would not be pleasant. When another 15 minutes go by with no sign of the boys, Ruth is no longer capable of as much equanimity as her sister. What are we supposed to do? Scrounge around here for berries and nuts to keep alive? Do you want to go back? Yes, but let's leave everything where it is. Is that a good idea? It's a good idea if, unimpressed by their excuses, I'm tempted to reach for some suitable instrument of punishment. She then picks up the martial arts stick from the picnic table. At the same moment, Ben shows up. Aha! Get prepared for a sound thrashing. No sooner does she say this than she realizes, along with her sister, that Ben has had some sort of accident. Besides his face being scratched and his hair mussed up, his shirt is torn and dirty. My God, exclaimed Sally, you look like you fell off your bicycle and rolled halfway down the mountain. While she straightens out his hair and pulls the burrs off his shirt, Ruth takes the food out of the panniers of his bicycle. Then she puts the bicycle against the tree while Ben sits down at the picnic table. Yes, you're right. I was taking the hiking path up here instead of the bicycle path. I thought I could save some time because it's so much shorter. Anyway, I was pushing the bicycle when I tripped, fell off the path and down a slope. Everything fell out of the panniers and it took me 20 minutes to gather it all up. You could have broken your neck, exclaimed Sally. Why would you do such a crazy thing? Asked Ruth. Well, we were behind schedule on account of Bowser. You see, he ran into the woods after a deer. It took us about a half an hour to find him. And then for some reason he was covered in dirt and cow shit. We had to clean him up, only it was taking so long. Finally said to me, take the food up to them. We don't want them to be angry with us. Where's Frank now? Asked Ruth. He's probably taking Bowser to the beach to get him cleaned up. After unsuccessfully trying to reach Frank with Ben's cell phone, they decide to start their picnic without him. A succulent ham is then quickly unwrapped, cut up, and put on their plates along with fresh bread, pickles, tomatoes, onions, potato salad, sliced cucumbers, lettuce, and camembert cheese. Ben's mishap is quickly forgotten as they enjoy their meal and discuss how Bowser got away from the boys and how he had to be tracked down in the woods. Every so often, one of them wonders whether Frank will show up before they have finished off the food. Ben, Sally says finally, we've still got some time to pass if we're going to wait for Frank. I think nothing would be better than to listen to one of your stories. I agree, Ruth chimes in enthusiastically. I'm getting to be a real fan of yours. Despite what you think, it's not always easy to come up with a story. In fact, I only have one in mind at the moment, and it's not a particularly happy one. Oh, not another one like the prince that gets eaten by his dogs, Sally exclaims. I couldn't take that again. Well, then I'm sorry, I don't have anything to offer you. Sally, I had the impression you liked Ben's stories whether they were happy or not. I thought you could do this for me, Ben, says Sally rather sulkily. When Ben can only shrug, Ruth goes on, to my way of thinking, a sad story shouldn't make you unhappy or unsatisfied. It's only a bad story that should do that. It's better to hear a good, unhappy story than a bad, happy one. All right, go ahead, Sally says finally.